back indicating all is well. Starter raises a flag, down the flag goes, and we've got a start, and away we go. And it was a cracking start by Nigel Palmer, number 49. Has he got it? Mike Edwards, though, sweeping round the outside. Palmer into second. Where was Russell? Russell didn't get it away as quickly as he would have liked, but he's gone wide. Edwards then, from pole position, leads at the moment, stretching out a good advantage. Russell's in fourth. Glenn English is up to third. Stretching their way down, they are approaching you now, Bruce.
Yeah, down the dip, all tidy through Ford Water so far, but what a start for Edwards. He's about almost second clear the first part of St Mary's. Those behind Palmer right in the thick of the battle. You can see Edwards in the background escaping as they're turning right into St Mary's. He's turning left through the second part. Now the dip down into that drop. Wonderful drop. Compression. Lets you know if you're on the wrong line, that's for sure. Rider definitely not on the wrong line. Mike Edwards leading.
Look at Glenn English. Glenn English, number 25, up to second place from fourth qualifying. Absolutely rocket ship. Number 25, Glenn English. Nigel Palmer, 49 in third. Then it's Mike Russell. Then number 20, that's Richard Parker. So he qualified well. These are the front runners, the guys we would expect to see. But Mike Edwards is away with it at the moment.
Well, a great start from Palmer, but Edwards just had the pace around the opening corner at Madrid and has swept clear. Duncan Fitch just spotted him on number 7. Let's see if he can get in the mix. He's strangely off the pace yesterday.
He is. He's in 8th place at the moment. That's about where he qualified. 8th or 9th, I can't remember. 8th, I think, was where he qualified. Glenn English then has got Nigel Palmer and Michael Russell for company, and all of them are equally mounted on TZ's 350cc's, and they'll be using that 70 horsepower and the 6 gears to good advantage here. But out in front, 4 seconds clear, it's Mike Edwards. This, though, the battle for second, and what a battle!
Well, the sort of battle you could watch all day because you know it's going to change at pretty much every corner. In the distance, not that they can pay him any attention, is the race leader, Mike Edwards. He's sweeping through the second part of St Mary's. They're only just arriving at the first part. Who's coming through at the head of that battle? It's still number 25. So how much longer will Glenn English hold on? He's done a fabulous start to the race, but it's a very busy sector of circuit.
Well, Glenn English was strong yesterday in qualifying, and he got progressively quicker. We saw times yesterday almost in the 26s. The low, very low 27s. We're at 1:31 at the moment. 1:31.036, fastest lap by the race leader, Mike Edwards.
But here comes the move because Michael Russell is in third place, but he's right now on the tail of second place. It looks like he's going to be able to make that move any moment now. Don't forget, he started from the middle of the front row.
Number 16, Dan Walling in 5th place behind this lot. This is the battle for second, third and fourth there in your picture now. Glenn English, Michael Russell and Nigel Palmer, number 49, just sitting there, keeping his powder dry, I think. Don't forget, he familiarised himself with this bike during qualifying yesterday, had never ridden it before, took a few laps to find his way round, find out how the bike performed, and he said he absolutely loves it. Here comes Dan Walling, the chasing bunch. Well, he's number 16. Ahead of him now has gone the number 7 bike.
Mr. Fitchett, our friend Fitchett, up into 5th place there. But for Palmer, you feel he's having the easy ride at the moment, tucked in the battle, that grouping for second place, letting them break the airstream ahead of him.
Duncan Fitchett is 15 seconds off the lead, so he's got a big gap. If he gets now clear of that chasing bunch, he's got to wind in Nigel Palmer, and that is no mean feat. You can see how quickly these guys are going, but they are dropping Palmer away. Glenn English and Michael Russell dropping Nigel Palmer away.
But half a second ago, I was about to say it looks as though it's all going the way of Glenn English because Michael Russell had fallen off his tail and was fighting with Nigel Palmer, but in the blink of an eye, he's got right on the tail of Glenn English, who is now fully aware that, because he must have looked at his over his shoulder a while back and thought, I'm actually making a break here. No, you're not, because Michael Russell is coming right back at you.
Glenn English, not a tall man. Michael Russell, much taller, but by the same token slimmer, so I guess the power to weight ratio between these two, very little to choose between, and that's a shame. Richard Parker out of the running. Such a shame for him. What disappointment. The one race they have over the weekend, and it all came to naught. Russell then, on the back of Glenn English, over the start finish straight. Still 15 minutes of this riveting battle remaining, and this the battle for second place. Can Russell muscle his way past? Russell the muscle. Here we go. He's having a look. moving out of the slipstream of Glenn English. They're on their way down to you. Nigel Palmer tucked in the slipstream, and Duncan Fitchett still there, but in 5th place now, Duncan Fitchett.
Yeah, Michael Russell in 3rd place does seem to have the legs, but he just can't make that move stick. He can't get quite close enough to Glenn English. And behind them, the battling is absolutely fantastic as well. 16 and 15, the right ding dong with Dan Walling still there. Peter Crew tucked in behind, looking to make a move and catching the turn that we've got Mike Farrell on Charlie Williams' bike.
Yeah, indeed. What a good,
wonderful stuff.
What a good result. That's one of the oldest bikes in the race, that bike of Charlie Williams.
Yeah, 1974. A lot of these bikes are up nudging the 1980s.
Didn't Mike Farrell and Charlie Williams have a brilliant ride at Revival on that pre-war Rog? They're not yet decided what they're going to bring to Goodwood here for Revival in September this year, but it would be nice to see the Rog again. Meanwhile, there's Duncan Fitchett, number 7. Duncan Fitchett on the Yukon chassis Yamaha, helped in the pits by former German champion and very, very regular world competitor Martin Wimmer has been helping out and advising on suspension setups on that bike of Duncan Fitchett.
That's a fairly handy person to have as your backup, isn't it?
It certainly is, and Palmer's gone past English. This, the scrap though, for further on down the order, and right behind that is Mike Farrell. Mike Farrell tucked in behind Peter Crew and Dan Walling.
Well, so did English make a mistake? He was sitting quite comfortably in 2nd place, admittedly being challenged very hard by Russell. Palmer was
he must have done.
Must have done. Maybe he got caught out by a gust of wind. Now he's trying to fight his way back. In fact, English and Palmer together. We expected that if Mike Russell could get past him, pull away, and so he is doing. 25 Glenn English in 3rd place, the sort of tiger stripes and zebra stripes on the side, if you will, of his bike. The red flashy lower down on the bodywork.
In the excitement, I've missed it. A 1:26.021 has been set by Edwards. That is phenomenal on lap 3. 1:26. That is absolutely outstanding. That explains why he's 12 seconds clear.
That explains why we're not talking about him, because nobody is challenging him. He's doing a masterclass at the front of the field, and that is one heck of a lap. And just to put it into perspective, the next quickest out there are lapping over 1.5 seconds slower.
Goodness me, what a purple moment for him. Number 63 out of the Ian Draper. Let's this Mike Edwards. Here we are then. The man from the Northwest. Mike Edwards, so long in British Supersport, British Superbike, Triumph, Ducati. He's ridden them all. He'll ride anything with 2 wheels, and he's doing a great job here on this 2-stroke. Absolutely loves it. Well into his 50s, very much a veteran, but sprightly, and laughingly told me yesterday when I asked him what he did to keep fit. He said, I once did 3 days in the gym back in the 90s, and it wore me out.
He said it was right knackering.
That's exactly what
Never
he
returned.
said. That's exactly what he said. There's only one way to stay fit, he said, and that's keep riding motorcycles. Well, this is proof that that philosophy works. Mike Edwards then, 13.7 seconds ahead of Michael Russell. Having a lonely ride, the race leader, but what a display he's giving. 26.021, the fastest lap by a country mile.
Yeah, the next best, over 1.5 seconds slower than him, but at will he's lapping the 1:26. It just makes it look so effortlessly easy. But when you look at the shots, you can see how gusty it is. You can see the daffodils moving around every time you see a tree. So it's very tricky conditions. The track is perfect out there, but the wind conditions are really, really making it hard for the riders.
Still over 11 minutes remaining of this race. We expect them to do something in the region of 15 laps. Palmer in 3rd place. Glenn English still there in 4th. Duncan Fitchett is closing a bit.
Well, he's struggling. He hasn't gone below 1:30, and those ahead are lapping at the 1:28. So I think he's going to hold on to 5th place. But behind him he's got 15, which is Peter Crew. He seems safe in 5th, but doesn't have the pace the front runners. Looking at 49, he's been enjoying the race. Nigel Palmer, as you said, learning this circuit, learning the bike, and making a fantastic show of it.
Yes, he is. Absolutely brilliant. And he was very pumped yesterday when I spoke to him, and thoroughly excited about his qualifying position. There, Glenn English still in a respectable 4th place. That's where he qualified, and that's where he finds himself in the race. 15 seconds now the gap Edwards has. He's just stretching out the lead. There is Duncan Fitchett on that Yukon Yamaha TZ.
He always just tucks so low, there's not a lot of ducking to tuck, and absolutely the ideal shape for riding a motorbike. And, he looks super smooth here.
That bike actually ridden by Manfred Fischer, former German champion in the World Championship in the 350 Grand Prix in the days when there was a 350cc Grand Prix class. Of course, back in the day we had 50, 80, 125, 250, 350 and 500. Lots of race action on a Grand Prix motorcycle afternoon. Not quite the same these days, we just have MotoGP, Moto2 and Moto3. Number 15, Peter Crew, very respectable, I have to say, doing the House of Darnley a lot of credit, and ahead of him Dan Waller, and there, of course, Mike Farrell, number 4 on Charlie Williams' bike. And Charlie said to me this morning when I spoke to him, we don't expect him to be running too much at the front, but I can tell you he's doing a very, very good job in 8th place, Mike Farrell, on the number 4.
Yes, wherever you look down the field, there's a story within the story, and this little gaggle is certainly one of those. And Mike Farrell doing a great job on the number 4. Nobody can do anything about Edwards, though. Mike Edwards
is 1:25.895. He's going quicker still.
I knew he'd been sandbagging in the early laps.
1:25.895, the race leader.
17.5 seconds clear, and that will continue to stretch. But he's in among the traffic now. I think our race leader, but with his speed advantage, there's no disadvantage.
Well, the wind will play into their hands coming down the back straight. There's no doubt about that, but where it is tricky, of course, when it's crosswind, when they're up near you and through Ford water, when it hits them sideways as they throw it over and heel into the bend.
Well, Mike Russell started, this battle for second place. Mike Russell, 68, started second, fell down the order a little bit on the opening lap, went down to 4th place. And Palmer, the rider we thought was the tyro in the mix, is becoming the tyrant up into second place.
He'll be holding it over the moon with this, Nigel Palmer, absolutely over the moon.
Well, he had a massive grin on his face yesterday after learning the bike circuit and getting stuck in, and he really is getting stuck in right now.
Personal best, 1:27.092. That's a lot quicker than he went yesterday. So he's getting the measure of this 350 bike, and he's also getting the measure of the Goodwood circuit, albeit with blustery wind. You talked about the perspex of Mike Russell's bike yesterday, bubbling and wobbling in the breeze. Just look at it today.
It does look at like those little kits you could get for where you inflate your own balloon and it's sort of blowing up but not quite set yet. But look at this battle with Palmer on the inside and around the outside, but not going around the outside is Michael Russell. What a great battle to watch.
They're loving it. Russell has got the measure of him. He's been in front twice, he's been behind him twice, he's now tucked in the back of Nigel Palmer, number 49, so Michael Russell knows that he can get past. It's a question of where he's going to choose his moment. 19 seconds now the gap at the front of the race, and where is Duncan Fitchett? Still 25 seconds off the lead, but closing in a little bit on Glenn English, but just not putting in the lap times.
Yeah, no, English still has the legs, the best battle. 45 was interloper, but once Michael Russell got into second place, we thought past Glenn English, we thought he was gone. Then English started dropping back, and Palmer has been the surprise package in this race. He's not only get back up onto the tail of Michael Russell, but to go past, and now, if anything, pull away.
Well, Sebastian Perez there, the number 45 rider, did Michael something of an unintentional disservice, because Michael Russell now has got his work cut out with 6 minutes remaining to wind in a very, very rapid and getting quicker Nigel Palmer. 27.092 personal best. That is quick. Almost in the 26s. That's where we were in qualifying yesterday for the pole position time. The man who took pole position has gone around here now in 1:25.895 and is now having a purple patch on the second sector. And look, he's Nigel Palmer now among the tail enders.
Thick traffic, and he really had to guess, and he just about guessed right, but the good thing he hasn't lost any advantage. But when you're passing a gaggle of 5 or 6 bikes, look for 49, he's just worked his way through. Number 8 still has to be passed. I'm sure he'll get past him, no trouble at all. But Michael Russell's still behind him. Russell, in fact, at the back of that group, so he's lost out quite comprehensively. Now he's got his way through it, and so they're clear. But that was a chance for a bit of smoke being issued by number 10. That won't be the rider's friend, I think.
That's something blown onto the expansion chamber. I suggest you get that off. That looks like gearbox oil onto the expansion chamber. He'll come down if he's not careful. He's not aware of it. Yes, he is now. He is now. Get it off the racing line. That is something burst. It could be coolant, but it could be gearbox oil on the expansion chamber.
Okay, he's going to pull off at Madrid or gently to the side. So shame he didn't go to the pits, but anyhow, at least it has been noticed.
Michael Thorne onto the grass. Well done, well done. Quick thinking. Yeah, that would have ended in tears for sure. That blue. Michael Russell then, there the man ahead of him, Nigel Palmer, that he desperately needs to catch with 4.5 minutes remaining. Is it on? Well, Russell lining him up, having a look. Palmer then will know that he's going to be under real pressure on the closing lap. Russell is looking around the outside, sweeping around the outside, almost on the grass, but they're side by side with a back marker ahead of them, and this could be crucial.
It was a bit like Michael Russell suddenly found another gear there on the first half of this lap, the way he caught right on the tail of Palmer. Now with number 42 in front, and that should stay out of the way, that's Sean Brooks.
Yep, Sean Brooks on the Yukon chassis TZ 250. Russell's past her, Palmer away past her, so this is going to be nip and tuck. Is Nigel Palmer going to be able to hang on to that second place all the way to the flag?
Well, sometimes being the first of a racing chasing pair coming upon traffic, you can gain an advantage, but it seems to have been very even between the two of them. But when it really counts, it seems Michael Russell just has that little bit more pace. But I must say, Nigel Palmer has been the star of the race for me. He's taken some really stern battling and he's coming out on top.
Well, don't forget the man at the front who's gone quicker yet again, 125.155. Mike Edwards. This is absolutely astonishing. Nearly 2 seconds a lap quicker than the guys behind him. He has really got his finger up in this race, Mike Edwards. But I think time is running out now for Michael Russell. There's the race leader, Mike Edwards, 125.155, fastest lap. Just phenomenal. We thought 27s were quick yesterday, and in these blustery conditions today, he's dug even deeper and found something extra special. This is sensational stuff.
So let's have a look, go past the pits, just over 2.5 minutes remaining. He'll get in this lap and the next one. Hunkered low, at this point then he's about to get the draft coming from the side as they go past the final pit garages.
Well, I can tell you Mike Edwards is good value, so when he gets to be interviewed by Henry Hopefoss down on the start line, he will have something to say about this, and what a performance. Mike Edwards then, on his way round, sublime,
half a minute clear.
20 seconds on. I'm still waiting for the rest of them to go over the line before we get the reading on our screen, but he is well away in the lead. 29.1, half a minute clear. This is phenomenal. 125.155. Mike Edwards with traffic. Well, he could sit up, switch it off and coast home now with 1 minute 50 seconds remaining, and look at the gaggle. He's lapping now this gaggle that we've been following with Mike Farrell, number 4, Charlie Williams' bike in the middle of it.
It must feel so strange when you're really absolutely pedal to the metal. You've got your wrist twisted right back, and yet someone comes past you as though you're painted to the circuit.
Yeah, Dan Warren, Peter Crew in there as well. 15, 16 and 4. There they are. 15, 16 and 4. This, the battle for 7th, 8th and 9th place. So Mike Edwards has lapped all the way up. When he goes past this bunch, he will have lapped up to 7th place, would you believe? And he's not far off it. He's in the thick of the traffic now, sweeps around the outside, goes past Mike Farrell. Mike Edwards has now lapped up to 7th place.
What a ride. And in fact, this is where his sport is coming. He's been putting these prodigious laps in. The battling has all been further down the order. He's had nobody to play with. He was first into the first corner, first into Madrid on the opening lap, but then has just streaked clear. Hasn't had to do the racing, has done the pacing.
Flawless performance. Duncan Fitchett in 5th there still. Nigel Palmer still holding off 2nd from Michael Russell. That's where the action is, and here they come. Here is Nigel Palmer. There is Michael Russell. He is too far back now to do anything about it. I think it's going to be 3rd place on the podium for Mike Russell. Nigel Palmer, conversely, what a terrific ride on a bike that he first saw yesterday morning and had never, ever ridden. did his first few tentative laps yesterday, finding out how the bike worked. He said, I didn't really know what to expect, but once I got on it, I felt how it felt. He said, it's very like the 250. I didn't have to rev it as hard. It's got more punch out of the bends, and in yesterday's qualifying conditions, he said, I had to take it easy. Mike Edwards then,
to the checkered
on
flag.
his way.
One has to feel the checkered flag is out. Yes, there it is. He had about 5 seconds short, but that's fine. What a race from him. Absolutely stunning performance. But in terms of everything you're talking about with Nigel Palmer, he had to really race, get tucked in with the best of the rest, beat the best of the rest, because there he comes into second place.
Nigel Palmer then, number 49, coming down to the chicane. A well-deserved, in fact, a very, very well-deserved runner-up spot here. Russell will follow him home a little way further back now, dropped off on the closing lap, a clenched fist and a shake of the fist from Nigel Palmer, a wave in the air.